shop. Get a little bit more done on this. And we figured out some stuff on the buggy. Didn't film anything this morning on that. I was just trying to figure out the whole, which way does this spin, which way does that spin, does this spin. So we'll explain that later on that. But for now, we're going to get some more sanding done and lay out some more mud. So let's get started. Starting to get into shape. So let's get that into shape for the wheel well. That one roughed into shape, so we'll go do the other side. So got a whole bunch of mud laid out, so we'll get that one all shaped out. Got that first part sanded. Wheel well cut out a little bit more. So we'll lower it back down, see where the wheel well sits. Hey, you're standing away. Thank you. Alright, so we're on the second coat for the back fender flare so far for both of them. We still have to sand down both the front fenders, do them, the side skirts. Second coat's on that one, so we'll let those dry overnight. Come on, back up, so this thing. So we're trying to figure out which way the motor spins compared to which way the drivetrain spins on this. Well, we have the motor facing forward like we should. This thing goes backwards. So we're going to turn the motor sideways and put the 90 on it and then make the drive shafts and all the connections. So this is a 1-to-1 90 gearbox. So that thing turns right clockwise. Yeah. So we turning clockwise the turn, so that will hook up to that. Then we'll hook it up to the transmission, then to the 4-wheel drive, and then we'll make our drive shafts and go from there. But even sitting here, it's like, man, all I see is big freaking twins sitting up front. I mean, once we cut the frame and all that shit off of it, it'll be a lot better. It just sucks that this is reversed compared to the drivetrain on this. So my only other option is pulling the quick changes out and flipping them and putting them back in so we can run it that way. But that means the tranny's going to run backwards and all the gears will not handle the load going in reverse for going forward. For the way these gears are probably cut in this transmission. I probably get away with it, but we're not really sure yet. Would like to just pull the pumpkins and flip them, but we haven't decided. We think this is going to be the best bet, doing the 90. That way all the weight still kind of stays up front, and then we can do everything else, or we put the motor in the back and run it through that way, and then it'll be chain driven between the input and the output on the two there. But that's what I'm about at right now with this. So soon we'll be making the mounts for that. We are getting closer to getting that tagged and primed, so we can do final sanding hopefully in the next 2 weeks. Hopefully next week we should be starting on getting the taillights in on the car and testing the brake lights, the blinkers, reverse lights, and running lights. Well, we have the drive shaft for the bike. Those are big splines. These are fine spines. This almost fits on this spline output, so I might be able to find one of these little universal joints what will fit this, so I don't have to use this and make a coupler and adapter. But if I have to, I have to. Either way, we have to make adapters from this to that spline. So this part will run back to the transmission. This part will run into the bike. Considering this bike doesn't, if this had reverse, I wouldn't really care. I would just set it up normally and just run it. But this has no reverse in it, and I need reverse, so that's why we got to use the transmission. So hopefully in a couple of days we'll get this motor mounted in here and start making the drivetrain, steering linkage, the ship linkage, it'll have to be like a double banana freaking back and forth freaking shit. And then we'll have the 2 shifters up there for 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, high and low, and then 5-speed, and then I think it's 5 or 6-speed on this bike. So we'll have 11 gears forward and 5 gears reverse, give or take. So that will be fun with high and low range. So this thing will be like an ultimate crawler, little buggy thing. Baja truck. I don't know. We'll see how it takes shape once we get the motor in and the caging and everything. Because either way, we got to get the motor put into this thing so we can roll it in and out of the shop. Because we might put it over there on the bay lift for now, for the pit, so we can work on it, so we can move the car forward, so we can get to the back of the car and get that done. Well, hope you guys like this night. Car's starting to take shape, finally. Soon we'll get into doing the interior. Waiting on ordering the rear emergency brake cables and everything I need to put in for the drums. Well, hope everybody have a good night. Catch you on the flip side. Like, share, subscribe.